Hello, welcome to Horror Monster Collectibles, where today, and I can't believe I'm saying this, we are actually going to take a look at the brand new Neca Chucky from Bride of Chucky. I can't believe this is actually happening after about a 3-year wait. It's pretty crazy. This thing is not without its drama. Neca really kind of screwed themselves by displaying Moody pudding Chucky and Tiffany at the show way back and giving customers the expectation that they were getting $5,000 custom Moody pudding pieces when they were not. Neca used years of excuses about COVID and everything else, which just nobody was buying because you had Trick or Treat Studios that kept on pumping out Chuckies. So nobody was believing their COVID nonsense. But here it is, and this is obviously the possessed version, and I'm joking because his eyes are rolled back in his head. His eyes are adjustable, and during shipping a lot of times they just roll back, and that's what he currently looks like now. Okay, let's just go ahead and spin this around and dive right on in. Here he is, right out of the box, and I mean pretty much right out of the box. I spent about 2 minutes trying to adjust his hair, and it's going to take a lot of work. The back of here is just a fucking train wreck out of the box. I mean, you can see just how terrible it is. It's going in all kinds of directions and stuff. It really needs to be worked out, which is kind of a chore because you have to do that where he doesn't get too frizzy. We're going to need to get some product on here and straighten out how it comes out of the box, but he is just an absolute train wreck out of the box. Now that just might be mine, but I mean it's all just matted together, just stitched together, and you know, the hair is going in like the wrong direction in places and stuff, so we have to like coax that back like this way. I mean, it's going to be a whole thing to get him looking okay. It's just, I mean, it's a fucking train wreck, dude. Anytime you see a review with Chucky looking good, somebody has spent quite a bit of time on him, getting him to look that way, because I mean, this shit is just fucking crazy bad. Like, it's just matted up in here. Gonna need some hair product and stuff to get this like laying right and laying where it doesn't look just so fucked. So again, maybe other people have better luck, but out of the box the hair is just a fucking nightmare, for real, like nightmare. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the head sculpt, which we know the head sculpt is going to be really good because they used Moody puddings, but they made some changes to Moody's stuff that's kind of questionable in places. For one thing, Moody's brow is a lot more menacing, and this one, the brow sculpt, isn't as menacing as Moody's is. They also kind of messed up some paintwork here. Like, this is just supposed to be an indent. It's not part of the scar, but they went and painted it like it was part of the scar, which is a curious choice. And then here, I don't know what they were doing here, but this is supposed to be connected. And it's like they didn't even finish the line throughout here, which I don't understand why. Again, you have like a perfect point of reference, and then like you just jack it up. So I don't really understand why. The eyebrows are way too long, but you know what? Like that's okay, because I'd rather be able to cut them to the proper length than have them too short. But he's got some Einstein brows right now. The overall paintwork and color is good. They have some good light shading throughout here, some good depth, some good details. I like the wetness of the scars, and then in the eye, have a nice gloss in there. And unfortunately, these aren't real stitches and staples. They're just painted. It would have been nice to have real stitches and staples, but these are just painted. But they look much better than the Seed Trick or Treat Studios Chucky, which I had but I sold, so I don't have that as a comparison for you guys. I'm sorry. Sculpt work on ear and everything is good. Let's come over here to the eyes. Again, the eyes are adjustable, so you can just sit there and grab them and kind of rotate them around to how you want to have him looking. There is good vein work here in the eyes. Take a look at that. And the pupils look good too. So that's all good. And the mouth is much, much better than Trick or Treat Studios. It is multiple pieces, so there's inset pieces in here. The teeth and the tongue, all that looks good. Here though, on mine, the teeth are kind of jacked up on the paint. You can see how these teeth kind of run together. There's no gum line in between here, which kind of sucks. But overall, it is a much improved Chucky versus what you get from Trick or Treat Studios. So I will give them that, even though, you know, it has its flaws. So let's come on down to the clothing. And the clothing is actually really well done. It's a good material. It's got good wear on it. It's nice and worn and weathered and dirtied up. Coming around here, there is supposed to be a scar on this shoulder, and it is missing. So we just have the foam. There's no scar there like it should be. So they kind of screwed that up. I feel like the Trick or Treat Studios did have the scar. Come back through here. Again, the clothing's no complaints here, really. If you guys are wondering what I'm using here, this is just like I think it's like 18-inch doll stand. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them in like white or black. He does stand up on his own, but it just makes it easier if you just get a stand, and they hide really well back here. If you just wrap it around the waist, when it comes to the front, you don't even see it. Over here, we do have a nice scar through here, and this is a molded piece that is inserted on the foam body. So I think that's glued over top of the foam body, not an insert actually. This is much better than the Trick or Treat Studios. And I know that there are two different Chuckies between Bride and Seed, but generally they were the same doll. I mean, Seed was copied from Bride. They had different people working on it, but still. And so I'm using that comparison because of Trick or Treat Studios came out with the Seed many years ago. It's been almost 3 at this point. But anyway, they just had it painted on the foam, and this is much nicer. It looks a lot better. It's got nice depth to it. It's got good paint app to it, and it looks more the part. Again, I'm just faulting them for here because they should have done that. Let's come down over here to the waist. Again, just more of just top-notch weathering and stuff. Really no complaints, again, for any of that. Here is the hand. And I haven't put anything in there yet, but we will do that in a moment. And we have these like nice shading down here through here. Hopefully it's picking up, but there's subtle shading on the hand to kind of bring out the depth, which is pretty nice. The hands or arms look long, but that's really because the sleeves are short. So when I pulled them out of the box, I went ahead and pulled down the sleeves so it looks a bit better. But they kind of want to be naturally up here, so like you see like a lot of wrist, and that makes it look like the arms are long. But I believe that they aren't really long. It's more that the sleeves are a little short, maybe like a ½ inch or inch shorter than what they should be. And we'll come back through here, through the back. All good stuff. You know, I got some futzing to do with them, but it's all, you know, it takes some time. There's nice weathering on the shoes. They're not all new. They are laced up kind of poorly, so I will probably relace them so that they, you know, it says good and then guy here. So do all the laces up correctly because I'm super anal retentive about stuff like that. But yeah, all that looks good and solid. Now, as far as movement, he has very good posability, and the main thing where he shines over the tots is posability for the head and neck. And let me set this on a tripod so I can use both hands real quick and show you guys. All right, so he's got a lot of range of motion here. It holds well, and the only problem is there's not a whole lot of movement side to side. In fact, like I'm very limited. I'm not wanting to push it right now, but it's resisting me going that direction with it. I can move it some this direction, but it really seems like you kind of just have a straightforward pivot on there, which is kind of disappointing. I need to mess with that and see for sure. We have a good sturdy frame to the body. Here is the wrist, and it's a soft foam. It feels like a softer foam than the tots, but you know what? I have Child's Play 2 Chucky from Trick or Treat Studios, so let me get him out, even though they're two completely different Chuckies, but we'll just kind of see how they pair up together. All right, so here are the two Chuckies together, and again, obviously two different movies, but you can see how the Neca just looks a higher quality. Now this is Trick or Treat Studios Ultimate Child's Play 2 Chucky. And then I have like the Halloween Kills plastic knife in his hand. I didn't want to give him a real knife because I didn't want to get murderized. But you can kind of really see all of the fading and wear that they've done on the shoes, on him, and on the clothing in comparison to a different Chucky. And overall, just the shading and everything just looks much better. This Chucky is just too pink. And he's just too pink for Child's Play 2. I understand that they're two different dolls, two different looks, but he didn't come out good for the movie that he's supposed to be from. And then one last thing, I've got the Halloween Kills knife, which is obviously a life-size knife. It's all plastic. but it just fits really loosely in his hand. Hang on. So unfortunately, I wish the grip was tighter. It's pretty loose, so you kind of like just have to get things set in there just right. I wish that the fingers had like a different, like a tighter grip, because that kind of sucks. All right, guys, so that's about all there is to go over on this Chucky. Overall, he's fantastic. Does he have his issues? Yes. Is he anywhere close to the Moody pudding pieces that they displayed and advertised? No, not even close. But he's not too far away from that, and he's miles above any Trick or Treat Studios Chuckies, in my opinion. And I've owned them all, so you know, I am a good one to judge because I have owned them. I haven't just watched videos or seen pictures. I've owned them all. But again, that is just my opinion. The hair is just a train wreck. It's going to take a bit to get that sorted out. I'm going to have to ask my fiance to see if she can help me out, because I think it's going to need some product in there to help keep its place, because it's so matted up in the back and like shooting off in the wrong directions and stuff. I'm really going to have to get it trained to go in the direction that I want it. And then I will say too that be careful when you're brushing out the hair, because it wants to come out pretty easily. So go easy on that. The eyes are badass. I love the posability there. I like that feature much better than the way Trick or Treat Studios did the Child's Play 2, as far as like removing the back of the skull and, you know, working the little eye mechanism inside. This is much simpler to me, and I like it a lot better. I like the eyes better too. There's better veining and stuff in them, and obviously the mouth insert is it allows for like a lot more detail than what you get with the Tots. There are negatives here though. I feel like, you know, they kind of put their foot in the mouth, so to speak, you know, when they advertised something that people just weren't going to get, and they spent years trying to duplicate that at a price point that they had charged, and it took them a while to sort that out. Again, the markings as far as the scars on the forehead are incorrect. The large one that runs through the brow over the bridge of the nose isn't complete, and there is no scar on the shoulder. These are all easy, like there's tons of reference for this kind of stuff, so it's hard to excuse mistakes like that happening. I will say that there's another side to this too, and I don't know if this has been resolved, but I know as of a few weeks ago, Moody Pudding felt like, you know, Neca did them wrong. And that is because, you know, they told Moody Pudding that they would give them royalties and a few dolls. But again, last time I've checked, they haven't received anything from them. They didn't give Moody Pudding credit as a sculptor on the box like they were supposed to. They only gave them credit for the prototypes, which is wrong. You don't do that to sculptors, especially when Moody Pudding put in so much work into their dolls. And then the good thing is that if this still doesn't do it for you, Moody Pudding is looking at a rotocaster to help make things quicker and possibly cheaper for them to produce the silicone dolls. So hopefully that kind of pans out and they're able to bring dolls, maybe the price drops a little bit and they're able to pump out more dolls to collectors who want like a higher end version of this. But that all aside, I feel like Neca still offered a great product at a great price point. And already these things are going for stupid prices on eBay. It has an edition size of 3,000 on the box. Now, I don't know if they're going to do another run of these or what, but they only made 3,000 of these Chuckies. My understanding is that Tiffany had 2,000 made. I don't have Tiffany, I didn't buy her. I'm more of just a Chucky guy. But Tiffany looks fantastic. I feel like hair and stuff wise, she came out a lot better than Chucky did. But I don't have her to compare to. I can only go off of like what people said and like, you know, videos and stuff I've seen of Tiffany, but she looks fantastic. And I kind of regret not getting the pair, but I just wanted a Chucky and that's what I got. So as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm curious about what you guys feel about this. Again, for 500 bucks, this is great and it's miles above what you get for tots for the same price. Yeah, there's just a couple of negatives here. The biggest thing is the way they treated Moody Pudding, which shame on you, Neca. You don't do that to a company. You just don't treat people that way. Hopefully they correct that. Hopefully they've already corrected that. I wish that there was more turning motion from the head. I'm not able to get mine to turn very far at all without pushing it, and I don't want to push it to the point where something breaks. It feels like it's on a ball, which is kind of curious as why it won't turn, but it just doesn't feel like it wants me to do that, and I don't want to push it too far. But I do have lots of tilt and pivot. And then the body is fully posable, and the only thing there I would be leery of is the foam splitting over time. If you have them like sitting or elbows bent at a 90 degree and stuff over the years, you're probably going to get some deterioration of the foam there where it cracks and splits. I know people have seen that with the tots. This looks like it's a different foam. Maybe it holds up better. I don't know. Only time will tell on that. But these are all just my thoughts. So I will go ahead and, like I always do, leave you with a 360 video spin of this dude. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications for new videos. And until next time, I will see you guys later.